Okay, we are finally working. This is try number 3. I'm standing here. Welcome, by the way, to episode 13 of Real Estate Talk TGIF. Thank God it's Fanale. Well, it's my last name and it's also Friday, so it kind of works both ways. So I'm standing here with Al Orr. Al just closed selling his mom's home in Woodridge, New Jersey. And so I wanted to take advantage of him and his time to ask him, a simple question about what were your needs, what were your fears in selling a home for your mom? What was the most important thing that came for you, Al?
Okay, well, the first part of the process was really the most important, and that's finding the right real estate agent. I can't emphasize how important finding the right agent for you is to the overall process. Dave happened to be referred to me. What I did was I went out and I asked several friends and family members who I trust and respect, and I said, what real estate agents have you used in this area? Dave came highly recommended, and we clicked. So it's important for you to have a real estate agent that you just don't find online, get a referral from, and know that person you somebody you can trust, because you want to have that integrity with that person, because they're going to be handling a lot of personal issues for you. There are many fears about selling your parents' home, right? You're not there, so you need somebody who's going to be able to have easy access to the house, to be able to take care of a lot of local documents, go the extra mile, and basically have your bottom line they have your best interest at heart, not their own and nobody else's.
So yeah, I want to first say, I didn't say there's a full disclaimer, is that this is not a video and a live broadcast about how great Dave Fanale was in the selling process. It's all about really what the needs of the seller is. And a lot of times we, after a closing, we see, these great pictures, so blessed to have sold this house and all this stuff. I wanted really to get a different angle from Al. Now, Al, you talked about integrity and you talked about choosing the right real estate agent.
Right.
That's so very important with anything that we do whenever we're buying stuff, but more important with probably one of the most expensive sales we're going to make. What about the intricacies of what your worries were as the process went on?
Sure. Okay. Well, obviously pricing the house right? The real estate prices are going to go up. They're going to go down. How do you know you're pricing the house right? You don't want to leave a lot of money on the table, but you don't want to overprice it and let it sit for 6 months and become undervalued. So that was a big concern, and that's something that a knowledgeable real estate agent can work with you through on comparables, on market variations. So many factors that I didn't even know about, but the competent real estate agent knows about, and it can address to you and do it in such a way that they're helping you find the light, as opposed to hitting you over the head and saying, no, that's too much money, that's not enough money. Somebody who works with you and really becomes a partner. So that was a big issue, pricing it right, okay? And then it was all the legalities and paperwork and various contracts and all of those things that you really don't have time for, quite frankly. You're working, you have family, it's not your own house. In this case, it happened to be my mother's house, selling it on behalf of my siblings and I. So we're all stressed for time, and you want to have somebody who can, like I said, do these types of things. Be at the house when you need to, move things around, get documents done for you. So also being that type of an assistant, as well as, doing the real estate contract and pricing it right and marketing it right. And then the open house was quite frankly, that was somewhat nerve-wracking. Okay, we're going to have an open house. How do we know it's staged right? Do we have enough stuff in it, too much stuff in it? What do we do? So having a knowledgeable real estate professional help you through the open house was really important, because you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, as they say. So and we don't know how to stage open houses and how to market that. So the real estate agent really takes the bull by the horns when it comes to the open house, lets you as the seller know this is how it's done, this is what I'm going to do, and follow up on the leads.
Yeah, I want to first acknowledge we got some greats watching this right now, and Lauren Taylor from one of the top real estate agents in San Diego, California, Jackie Baker, Mike Neck, and as well as Arthur out there. So I want to say hello and thanks for tuning in. So we talked about choosing the realtor. We talked about your fears and stuff. Tell me, were you worried about negotiation? Was that something that you thought about? Is it something that you worked on at all?
That's a great question. We did quite a bit on that, and a real estate negotiation is different than other negotiations, I'll say. Okay, in my private life, I'm VP of Sales and Marketing, so I'm familiar with contracts and selling and those various aspects. But selling a house, there's so many variables to the negotiation. Well, what if we throw this in, or we don't take that out, or well what kind of what's the potential for the house? And part of the what helped so much was having a knowledgeable real estate agent. I know I keep going back to that, but it's true. Saying, look, here's the potential for the home. You've got an attic. You can do this for it. You've got a basement. You can do this for it. This house goes for this much. If they put this much into it, they can get this for it. And it really opens your eyes to a whole different way of looking at what the house's true value is. And conversely, if there's negatives that go along with the home, that they'll in a nice way tell you about that too. So you have a knowledgeable understanding of where the house would probably shake out at. Because obviously as a seller you want to get the most for your house, but you also want to make sure it sells in a timely period. So the house negotiation, that process was real smooth working with Dave. And I know this is not supposed to be a pump up Dave Fanale special, but this was the true case in this matter. And he helped me so much in the negotiation in a very professional way to make sure that we ended up with a very fair deal to all parties.
Yeah, notice he said I was nice, so let's understand that. There are a lot of people who don't think that. Also want to welcome Sean. I want to welcome Jackie Baker as well. So we've just finished. We've just closed on the home, or went to settlement, or however they say in other parts of the country, since we've got California watching. Okay. What do you leave this with as far as the real estate industry, as far as your experiences overall, and not about me, of course?
Okay. It was quicker than we thought it was going to be from start to end. I don't want to tell our personal story with my family and everything, but basically 8 months ago my mother had a fall which precipitated her dementia, and we had to sell her house. So here we are 8 months later, and the house has been completely sold. It sounds easy, but my mother lived in it for 60 years, so we had a lot of items in the house that had to be gone through and moved and sold. There was an estate sale involved. Oh, that is something that was probably more stressful than the negotiation, I can tell you that. Having to deal with that type of issue and selling items inside the house and how to market them. Stuff that you never thought about, but you need to do because you're going to get rid of the things anyway, so you're going to throw them out or you're going to sell them. So you try to get rid of them for something. So that was really...
I get that. So I have one last question for you. If there's anything that you would have done differently, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or that you would have wanted me to do differently?
I probably may have done the estate sale differently.
Okay.
That was probably not handled the best way. But it was a necessary evil, and we ended up going with it and doing it. Also have marketing items online, because I lived a half hour from the home. So, you go to sell something, you go there, the buyer doesn't show up for furniture or whatnot. It's a waste of time and effort, and that becomes very aggravating, on top of having to sell the home through the negotiation, making sure things come in and out of attorney review, and all of those types of things. So really, I'm very pleased with the overall process of selling the house. I wouldn't have changed anything with regarding the pricing or the negotiation or the attorney we used. He was fantastic also, very professional, very experienced in home sales and contracts. You want to find somebody who's that's their specialty, because believe me, that's important. And I don't think I really would have changed much, other than maybe how we got rid of a lot of my mother's belongings.
Okay. All right, great. So one of the things that I always like to talk about is being a little different. We did some things different with this, as most real estate agents around here do, and I always talk about the art of differentiation, and that's where I live. That's where I come from, a place of abundance and my authenticity. So I want to thank Al for coming on with me. He didn't have to do this, and again, this was nothing to do with me. It's just to give out some information on what a real home seller is looking for. And the people along the way, the attorney you spoke of was Mark DePisa. He's in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. Mark did a great job, and I would recommend him highly. Al, thanks so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
And
thank you for everything.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Don't miss next week. We're going to have George Ledesma on as the president and CEO of the Eastern Bergen County Board of Realtors, talking about the state of real estate and also talk about some local stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And before.